Live from the Export Beer Garden studios, this is the Agenda podcast for Monday, the 11th of March.
The Agenda, an alternative commentary collective podcast.
Or as you may know it, day 4.
Yes.
But feels like a day 5, doesn't it?
Day 4 of the test.
Yeah.
History could be made.
History very well could be made today. We'll get into that very shortly, but before we do, there was so much on across the weekend, we have to recap some of it.
Yeah.
Starting with Friday, we had the first of 2024's ACC Golf Opens.
Yep. In association with Movember, we put these on every year. They're 3-ball Ambrose, 9-hole, good laugh, everyone dresses up. And for the first time, we went out to Windross Farm.
Yeah, beautiful course out there.
Probably too good, to be honest.
Well, it's funny because before we went out there, I was talking to one of the guys who's played there a few times, and I said, my biggest problem is getting stuck under trees. And he goes, oh, good news for you, no trees out there. Bad news is that's because the rough is so unforgiving that there's no need for trees. There's nowhere you could plant trees. Basically, when I got there, we talked to was he the club pro? One of the guys,
Josh.
Josh. Yep. He goes, don't miss the fairway. I was like, but Josh, that's all I do is miss fairways.
Yeah, it's like a links course in the middle of a farmland. I suppose that's called it Windross Farm because it's flat, the elevation of about 3 or 4 metres. That's it around the course. But it's a beautiful course.
Incredible.
Great afternoon. And we had some sensational, it was sold out, so we had 36 teams coming through there. Some great names in there. We had the Shankaholics Anonymous. We had the Dustin My Johnsons, the Strokers.
Dustin My Johnson's great.
The Drawshank Redemption. I thought it was quite good. The Munters. Took out best dressed, the Munters.
Yes, they showed up in kilts.
Yep. Up the Pars.
Up the Pars is good.
Up the Pars was good. Round Ball Chasers. Lightning Crashes. Our Wives Think We're at Work.
That's good.
That was a good one. They actually came 6th. So Beers over Birdies. But the winners, there's heaps more. There's the Alternative Mulligan Collective. They were quite good.
That's good.
And all sorts. So great names. The winners, though, were Any Holes a Goal.
Yep.
They took away the Hallenstein's ACC beige jackets. They took away the Wilson drivers as well. Coming in second with the Beatniks.
Yep.
They took away the Wilson putters and a bunch of merch as well. And then Weapons of Grass Destruction, our partners on our hole.
Yeah, our opponents.
They took out the podium with a bronze as well. But great afternoon. We had the Export Ultras were flowing.
Yes.
Absolutely flowing. Wilson Golf provided all the amazing prizes and balls, hats. The amazing drivers. They're $500, $600 each, those drivers.
Yeah, they're tremendous. I was eyeing one of those up.
Plus the jackets. So, it was a good time. And the next one is next Friday at Shandon.
Yep.
I believe there's 2 spots left in that one. So text golf to 3236 and come along with us. It's a Friday afternoon. Shotgun start at 2:30. You're done by 5:30 in the clubhouse for a few beers.
Yeah.
So, and it's for a good cause. It all goes towards Movember.
And just the low admin of the whole day, because golf days can get so confusing and so, people try to add, this and that rule, but if your handicap's this, but if you do this and then on this, that, it's like, no, just come out, you play 9 holes. There's a closest to the pin on a par 3. There's a long drive competition. They work easily. You just write your name. You put the stake where you hit your long drive or where you were closest to the pin. And that's it.
Yeah. And they've got Golf Genius app now.
Yeah.
So it's so easy. So easy to score. There's no arguments at the end, although I've still gotten some arguments.
Yes. Because you scan the wee QR code. Shout out to Jacinda for bringing QR codes into our lives. Then you download the app. You can see exactly where you are in real time.
Yeah, the leaderboard's great.
Leaderboard right up until hole 7. Then it goes behind a wall.
Yes.
And then you don't find out until the end, which is the perfect way to do it because you have a sniff, Some guys, the guys that we were playing against who ended up coming second, right?
Yeah, third.
Yep. They knew that they were in the hunt, and so they only clocked it about 4 holes in. They were like, shit, we're actually going all right here. This could be quite good for us.
Yeah, because obviously it takes into account everyone's handicaps as well. And also on the holes when you've got a shot as well on the holes. So it takes all that into account. So there's no arguments. Also, we've got Harewood the week after that. So that Harewood's on Easter Friday. It's what Jesus would have wanted, okay?
Good Friday. It's what he died for.
What he died for. If you're in Christchurch, I think there's a couple of places left on that one as well. Get involved. It is great. It's great fun. You get fed by Leader NZ as well. How good were the Southern Fried Chicken toppers burgers?
One of the most delicious things I've ever eaten in my life. And I did not expect a burger made out of a topper to be any good because it's crumbed already. So then I was like, sort of a hat on a hat. But they were out there. They had the little Bain Marie situation.
Yes.
They get the buns out. They've got a thing of gravy there.
Yeah, that was
gravy
good.
on the bottom bun, gravy on the top bun, lettuce, mayonnaise,
Yes.
southern fried chicken topper. Go fuck yourself. It was delicious.
Yeah, so all that, and you get there early enough too, you can get some serious preloading in. And the shotgun start, I was impressed with everyone's shotgun starts because
Yep.
they don't have a shotgun. So basically, it involves slamming your tea through an Export Ultra
Yep.
and shotgunning it. I must admit, though, I absolutely shanked my tee shot after that.
Oh, everyone did. It's not. This is the thing. I think most people that play a lot of golf, they get it. It's not about the golf.
No.
It's just about being out there, having an event, enjoying yourself, having a yarn, having a gas bag. Some of the play. Oh, there was also the spin the wheel.
Oh,
hole.
yeah, that was good.
We had to tee off with with various different clubs. That actually kind of saved us because my drives were so shocking. If it wasn't for that hole, we wouldn't have used two of mine, and we had to.
And you used was it a wedge?
It was a pitching wedge, and I hit just as well as everyone else did. So I was like, okay, this is how we get mine out of the way. But the Golf Open is a tremendous day, and like you said, I think there's still a couple of spots in
Yes.
Christchurch as well.
And Christchurch and Wellington. Wellington's in 2 weeks' time. So text golf to 3236. You'll get all the details. The link there has all the details. So get along and have a good time.
And if we've missed your region, petition your local club to
Yes.
get in touch with us for next year.
Yeah, I want to do the regional AGA, the Alternative Golf Association. I want to play Tidal. I want to play Waimate.
Yep.
I want to go to the regions and unload.
Yeah. So if don't get angry at us if we haven't come to your area. A lot of people won't have us. So get it.
I know.
So lobby them.
Trust me, when you ring a golf club and you go, hi, it's G Lane here from the ACC, we're looking to beep, beep, beep. Hello?
We're looking to bring about 100 wounders out to your...
130 people. Can we bring our own booze? Beep, beep, beep. Okay.
Have you heard of a southern fried chicken topper?
Beep, beep.
So petition your local course to get us out there. It's a hell of a day.
Yeah.
Great advertisement for your club as well. That course was... it was one of those ones where it's like, I shouldn't be playing on this course. I'm not good enough. But the experience is great. You know what I mean?
Great
Like,
clubhouse too. Great
excellent
people. Josh is a legend
clubhouse.
out there. So if you ever come to Auckland or you want to play around, Windross Farm is good. It's
Yeah.
a great course.
Great course. Then on the Saturday, we had the Manu World Champs down at the waterfront here
Yep.
in Auckland. There were people, this thing was packed out. There were people that had come from miles away. It started at 10. It didn't finish till about 7.
Yeah.
So this is a 9-hour day.
There was a lot of displacement.
Most people were still there. The guy who ended up winning it, he had driven from Palmerston North that morning.
Wharepapa.
Wharepapa had won his regional heat. When we posted the video to Facebook saying, "Oh, here's your winner," so people were commenting, going like, "Oh, I didn't even know he was still competing. Is this guy still competing?" Like this is it's got enough of a following now.
Yeah.
The judging criteria I thought were very, very interesting. So they had the Manu Tech, which was a proprietary technology pioneered by Auckland University of Technology, and they'd come up with Manu Tech, and it was software, I don't know if it was AI driven or what, that measured the displacement of the water,
Yep.
the height of the splash,
Yeah.
the volume of the displacement. It rounded all of that up, put it together with the 3 style judges who were giving points out like the NBA dunk contest, ran it through a little algorithm through the Duckworth-Lewis system, and then that spat out your score.
Yeah. Look, we've come up with some innovative technology over the years, the virtual technology down in Dunedin, which was responsible for, pretty much like all the America's Cup sailing and
Yes.
Sail GP and
Yep.
everything, and bringing to life, and golf technology,
Yep, ball
this
tracking.
This is up there.
The Manu
This is
Tech.
up there. The Manu Tech is up there.
It's a world first.
Yeah.
Manu Tech was absolutely incredible. It was all calculated in real time.
Yep.
So the competitor would pop their Manu, then we'd see the replay on the screen, while in the background the Manu Tech was whirring away and coming up with crunching its numbers and giving out the scores. And to me, the interesting part was in the lower divisions, sort of like the open men's and the sort of young, the youth divisions, men's and women, size was not an issue. There were some big competitors, and you would think a Manu comp, it's going to be whoever's the biggest is going to win. But no, it's very much a technique thing.
Yes, particularly in the youth grade.
Yeah.
There was the female youth winner. She was the smallest in the lot.
She was.
But she had superb technique.
Incredible technique. She went off the top board. There was a 2, 3, and 5 meter platform. She went off the 5, and it was just impeccable technique. She had a bucket hat on that just did not come off the entire day. It was incredible. Then we got into the big boppers, the heavyweights.
Oh, yeah.
The men's and the women's division. And actually, in the women's division, I think the winner of that was probably the smaller of the competitors as well. Again, it was just a technique issue. And then the winner of the men's, the Open men's finalists, the top three.
Oh, yeah.
Big boppers.
Oh, yeah.
Big boppers. Two of them were enormous. One of them looked like he probably still played a bit of footy.
Yes.
He was still in relatively good nick, and he had his training footy shirt on. He went off the 3 metre platform.
Yeah,
and so
consistent, wasn't he?
He was consistent. It was all technique for him, but I think he was sort of bouncing against the ceiling as far as how good he could manu. Whereas the other two,
Big Willie
Fraser, I mean, that man, he must weigh about 200 kilos. It took him about half an hour to walk to the top of the platform.
He was leading with the last round, and out of nowhere, Whare Papa did with a big hat signal to the umpire, to the referee, to the judges, put it back on, and then into the best staple of the day.
It was incredible. He went, the way he was designed, he was like up top, shoulders, head, like all sort of in proportion. Then the size really came in around the midriff.
Yeah.
He was sort of built like a spinning top. And he used that to his advantage by going in head first.
Yes.
And so his head would like sort of break the water.
Yeah,
and
you're
then,
right.
And then when the body came in,
Full Coke bottle.
that's when it really sent the water high, the displacement. He was regularly splashing the water 10 metres high, which is twice as high as he jumped in from, which is absolutely incredible. He took it out. It was hard-earned. He won it with the last dive of the day.
Yeah.
He had to, and he did. He pulled it off, and it was something to behold. The crowd was incredible. Shout out to the auntie who absolutely berated us for about half an hour, standing behind us because we were sitting there about to do the live stream, and she thought that we were running the event. She comes up behind us and goes, "Your event's all shit." And we're like, "Hey, we don't actually work here. Like, we just here to commentate it." She's like, "Nah, look at your crowd. Your crowd's shit," which also was wrong. The crowd was fucking rollicking.
She was on the back end of a glass Barbie and a bunch of tequila.
We said, "Oh," because she showed up and she had a bourbon in her hand, and we're like, "Oh, you're on the bourbons?" She goes, "Nah, I've actually been on the tequilas since yesterday." We're like, okay, someone come and get their auntie.
Yeah, auntie was out of control. I mean, I did say, "Oh, fuck off," and then you turned around and just went, "Listen, can you go and annoy someone else, please? We don't actually work here.
We don't work." I was so sick of it.
Go annoy someone else.
Go find someone else.
She did.
And she did, yeah. She did. I just reasoned with her. I was like, we don't work here. We can't help you. By the way, even if we did, what a shit thing to say to someone.
And also she goes, "You're a bunch of Chris Luxon voters." And I was like, oh my God, here we go.
Yeah, that was
I'm going to tie some concrete blocks to your ankles and throw you off the 5 metre.
Yeah. But aside from her, and to be honest, even including her, the crowd was incredible.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
It was, because it was one of those events where everyone in the crowd knew someone competing.
Yeah.
So when their person went up, it was like, "Oh, hey!"
Oh, and Savage? You watched Savage live twice sober.
Yep, that's the second time I've ever seen Savage sober. Obviously that was the second one. The first one was at a Waitangi Day celebration.
That's saying something for you. That's over the space of a 1 month period.
No, that was last year.
Oh,
so
okay.
this was
Not last.
over the
Waitangi.
space of about a year and a half. But the thing about it is, Savage's music does not lend itself to being sober at a concert because, for example, the first time I saw him, it was about probably 1 in the afternoon at a marae. No one was drinking. Everyone was sober.
And he was looking for the freaks.
Family event, and he comes out, "Tell me where the freaks at."
There was plenty at the Manu Champs.
I was like, "They're not here, bro."
There was heaps at Manu Champs.
There were some freaks. Yeah, Auntie was a freak for sure. But yeah, Savage performing on a wharf, floating in the Viaduct Harbour was something I did not expect to see across my weekend. And all of that stuff is not even to do with the cricket that happened across the weekend as well. So as we said, we're on day 4 now. It's got big day 5 vibes, doesn't it?
Yeah, someone's going to win today.
Yeah.
Someone is going to win. It was so good to fight back yesterday, get a lead of over 250, and then we got greedy. We wanted 300. We didn't quite get there. We left at least 20 or 30 runs out on the park. But how good was the last session? Australia 4 down. Ben Sears with 2 wickets. The Courtney bowled after the drop catch at first slip. Then he bowls Cameron Green with a screamer. He's got a pukana coming out as he's bowling. Like you said on the commentary, must have drunk a red Powerade because when he was screaming, the redness coming out of his mouth and his tongue.
Maybe like a red fruju perhaps, but I think it was the Powerades he was into.
Yeah, and then obviously Mr. Darcy as well from the other end. Oh, so good. So good to put them under pressure, but as Aussies do, Mitchell Marsh and Travis Head are both in there, and they're looking comfortable. So we need 6 wickets to win.
They need 202 runs.
Yeah. Good news for New Zealand, though. I mean, by the time you're listening to this, it may well have swung in either favour. Rain overnight in Christchurch. Good for us. Good for us in the fact that means the pitch has been undercover. It'll stay undercover this morning. It'll add a bit of juice to the pitch. It'll refreshen it a little bit, a touch. Not heaps, but it's helpful to us. It's better than it being a bone-dry night and a bone-dry day.
Because it had been turning into a road, as Lee Baker described it, a road of national significance.
Well, if we win this test match, if Simeon Brown doesn't come out and announce this track as a road of national significance, then I'm voting for Chloe Schwarbrick.
Yeah, they're going to have to up it from 15 to 16 roads of national significance.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hagley Oval has been one so far. It's going to be very interesting to see how
I can't wait. Can't wait. You got to tune in.
We're actually recording this at about 10:20 in the morning. I can see Macca pre-recording his pitch report right now. The covers are off. They're painting it.
You beauty.
It does look a little bit damp in the outfield for sure.
But that's good, though. It's overcast and it's humid.
Yeah.
Di Henwood woke up this morning. He texted me. He said he went for a walk around Hagley Park. He said it was...
Was he down there?
Yeah, he said it was muggy. Very muggy. So I'm like, good. This is all good signs for us.
Nice, slow outfield.
Yeah.
It has been pretty slow anyway. So how do we win this, do you reckon?
We've got to get Head. I just want the headline, Sears gets Head. Mm-hmm. Young cricketer, he deserves some Head. He deserves to get Head out. Basically, it relies on Head and Mitchell Marsh today. I've put our TAB Game Day Good Punt, gone for a little bit of happiness insurance. I've said that Mitchell Marsh is going to hit 2 plus 6s.
In the first session or in the innings?
Just in his innings, I think. Or it might be first session. But that's how he plays.
It is,
he plays aggressively.
T20 captain.
But saying that, they've got a decent tail. They've got bowlers that can bat in Cumdog Millionaire, Pat Cummins, and Mitchell Stark, Bill Ralston. They can both bat. Yeah. Lyon can stick around as well. So we can't just get these 2 guys out and then just presume we're going to roll them. We got to, as Matt Heath keeps saying, you've got to put at least a dozen 22 bullets into a possum to kill it.
Yeah.
You've got to keep shooting. You've got to keep tapping. Yeah. No double tap. It's a triple, quadruple tap. You've got to keep shooting.
Remove the head or destroy the brain.
Yeah, correct. So that's what we're going to do. And look, it's almost 50 years to the day since we had our first ever test victory against Australia in Christchurch.
It's meant to be.
In Christchurch, and 31 years since we've actually beaten them in New Zealand. Pat Cummins wasn't even alive. We need to do this. We need this.
I need this. Do it. I think, aside from all of that, the fact that we scored 372 against them was incredible. Yesterday was actually an incredible day of cricket for New Zealand.
It was so good. It was funny because I wasn't really looking at the total.
Neither.
So I was looking at the lead.
And
I was just like, lead's 250. And I went, oh, shit, we almost scored 400.
Yeah. It's absolutely incredible. So this is going to be a hell of a day today. Again, by the time you listen to this, you've probably already seen it. But I'm very much looking forward to that. First ball at 11 o'clock, all live and free on iHeartRadio, so make sure that you tune into that. I was going to get into the clock debacle. I'm not. We're going to park it.
Oh, my.
Time for a quick... Go back and listen to the Thursday episode if you want to hear anything about that. Time for a quick break, and we will be back to digest some more of the sporting action from across the weekend. Lane, I don't have to tell you, but there was rugby across the weekend as well, round 3 of Super Rugby, which has been, by all accounts, quite an exciting opening to the Super Rugby season, hasn't it?
Especially after the weekend just gone, it is wide open.
It is
wide open. I mean, I'm the first to put my hand up and say I've been slagging off Australian rugby relentlessly for a couple of months now. Yeah. Then I turn around and the Reds have beaten my beloved Chiefs.
Yes.
And the Tars went down just to the Highlanders. They missed a penalty, a pretty easy penalty, to be honest, to win that game, and gifted the game to the Highlanders. Blues went down to the Hurricanes. They didn't even fire a shot, the Blues.
No.
That was a disappointing from them. And then the Crusaders drew the biggest margin of the weekend, 10 points.
20-10. And this was one of the most selfless acts in New Zealand sport of the Crusaders to do this, because they talked about making the game more fan-centric.
Yeah.
And everybody says, well, what does that actually mean when the rubber hits the road? Well, the Crusaders have put their hands up and said, look, winning 8 in a row, that's not doing anything for the competition. What we need to do is throw the opening rounds of Super Rugby for 2024, honey dick everyone into thinking, we get a chance of winning this.
Honey dick.
And then luring people into actually supporting their team. I've never seen so much support for Super Rugby teams around the office. Adam's strutting around, big Hurricanes fan. You can imagine him walking in today, full noise. You all last year, the Chiefs fans were screaming Chiefs Manu. It was almost as loud as up the wires. And I just think for the Crusaders to have the presence of mind to say, look, yeah, it's going to hurt us, but the overall health of the game is going to be better if we throw these opening 3 games.
Well, Manaia Stewart, as a Crusaders fan, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service, obviously, throwing those first 3 games and throwing everyone a bone or as honey dicking everyone else. Thank you for your service. But another milestone.
Yes.
Julian Savea, the bus, has become the highest Super Rugby try scorer of all time with Moana Pacifica. They went down, though, in Hamilton. But almost, if they'd won, we would have won a lot of money.
A lot.
It was a $17 bet I'd placed.
Savea, Moana Pacifica by like 13 or something.
Yeah, but he did one part of it, but not the other. He overtakes Falau, which is good.
Yeah.
Which is a good man to knock off, to be honest.
Yeah, that one has been glaring in the list of, most drop goals, Andrew Murdens, most points, Dan Carter, most appearances, Wyatt Crockett, most tries, Israel Folau. It kind of does speak to like how incredible Israel Folau is as a rugby player. Because
what is he up to now?
He's playing in Japan.
Is he? Rugby?
Or at least he was up until last year. He's still playing rugby as a professional athlete and probably getting paid more than he was when he was over here.
Yeah, true.
They don't really seem to give a fuck about any of that kind of thing over there. But he played so many fewer games, I feel like, than Julian Savea did. So, but yeah, like you say, very good to see him get that one off him. Do you know who's third on the try-scoring tally for Super Rugby?
Doug Howlett?
It is Doug Howlett, yeah. So he's got 59, 60 for Falau, 61 now for the bus, and you'd have to imagine that he's going to get a few more.
Saying that, Doug Howlett, he's in great nick at the moment, still in great shape. Chuck him back out on the wing for a dead rubber, get him up there, get him up there to break the record, just to knock Falau just down off the podium, maybe potentially, or down to third.
Last year, they played an Old Boys Blues game of touch before one of the games.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this. Doug Howlett looked like Doug Howlett out there. Like, he was lighting dudes up. You're like, oh, that's right. This is like one of the fastest athletes we've ever produced.
Yeah.
And he's, probably mid-40s, would he be?
He's the same age as me. He's 45.
Yeah, 45, 40, 45.
45.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. Get him back out there.
Yeah, totally.
You can put him on the end of the wing. See how you go. In other sports news, on Friday night, the Warriors opened their campaign against the Sharks. They eventually went down 16-12. I went out there. This was a luxury for me. I went out there as a fan.
Yeah.
I got to sit out there in the stands.
I dropped you off.
And watch the game. You dropped me off. I punished 3 beers in the car park and wandered in. Spent the next half hour trying to find my missus, who came in the wrong gate. Anyway, notes from the ground. This is what I observed while I was there. Lots of love for the Mad Monday podcast/commentary team.
Oh, nice.
Everywhere we went, people were sort of yelling out. Obviously, Di gets the most money because he's a massive Warriors fan. But, everyone was going, oh, you're the guys from the Mad Monday thing. Oh, I love the commentary, love the podcast, blah, blah, blah. I thought that was really cool. Bumped into a dear friend of mine, Tanner Stowers-Smith, who we interviewed down at the Hallensteins.
Dear friend.
Dear friend of mine. I think he might have scratched his balls before he shook my hand.
Was he wearing the DWZ flap?
No, he wasn't.
Oh.
Their media manager, shout out to her, she does a wonderful job. Not stoked that we gave them those. They probably breach a few of their different clothing.
Why not?
I don't know.
It has only got an ACC logo on it. That's about it.
I don't know. I really don't know what. But anyway, no, he wasn't wearing that.
Oh.
I feel like it'd probably be put on by DWZ if he saw him wearing that.
I reckon we should send a whole bunch to the entire team. There'll be someone who want to wind up DWZ. Surely.
If we could get the whole team one. And then DWZ comes out by himself, and then all the rest of them come out wearing those hats.
Well, he got told off in the game, didn't he? Because he was getting a bit out of control.
Yeah.
And I think the ref said to him, "Hey, can you control Dallin? He's getting a bit out of control," because he was just chirping the ref.
Yeah, he was hard done by a couple of times, and he was really laying into the ref. Wairangi Kopu, I bumped into him. He was the MC of the band Wagon.
They went one too far with the band Wagon.
Yeah.
They should just call it the bandwagon. Just the bandwagon.
Hat on a hat.
Everyone knows it's the Warriors bandwagon. Just why the bandwagon? And it was some crappy old double-decker bus. Yeah.
He was a little pissed off though because he was like, "Look, they made good time getting across the city." Sorry, I've just pulled my taped up tennis ball out of my butt crack here. They made good time across the city because they could use the bus lanes.
Yes.
But he said they were only going about 50 k's. He was just like, "Open it up, brother. Open it up."
I don't think it would go any faster. It was one of those vintage double-deckers from London double-decker bus things.
Yes.
Anyway.
That had been rewrapped.
They got it wrong. Get a real bandwagon. Like the old...
What is a bandwagon?
Well, we talked about this in the agenda a couple of weeks ago. It is a ye olde horse and cart situation.
Oregon Trail sort of.
Yeah, so that's the bandwagon. So that's what it should have been. That were in the comedy, and that comedy of getting on that and going on the motorway with a bunch of horses, Clydesdales. That would have been, anyway.
Yeah, it would have been. Well, they wouldn't have liked the halftime show because at the halftime show there was lasers, there was smoke effects, and then there was fireworks. And it was not advertised that there was going to be fireworks. And they were massive. Fuck, they were loud. And they scared the piss out of everyone at the stadium. Joe Jury shut himself up in the commentary booth.
He did.
My missus freaked out as well. I was down getting us some chips and a hot dog each. She just texted me, "What the fuck was that?" It's like, yeah, they really scared the piss out of everyone with the halftime fireworks. Crowd went real quiet in the last 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes of this game, we were sort of just waiting for... I personally was just waiting for the Warriors to win that game. I was like, this is where the Warriors come up. They win. They're down by 4 points. There's 10 minutes left. We were in their half the whole time.
They got outmanned in the second half.
They did, yeah. Obviously, 16 points is too many points to let in. I do feel like there were a couple of calls that really went against us, but that is part of being a Warriors fan.
Not as glaring as usual.
No, but you do feel that way a little bit.
Losing Wade Egan was probably a big factor as well.
Losing Wade Egan was huge. Freddie Lussick's good, but it is a big step down because Wade Egan had a tremendous season last year.
He started off so well. How many passes was he making? The no-look pass.
The no-look pass is sick, where he comes out from dummy half one way and he throws it back across his body. It's a coach killer if it doesn't come off, but it came off.
Yeah,
every time. He looked excellent. He's going to be sorely missed. I hope that his elbow injury is just a little bit of a hyperextension and not too bad. But awesome to have the commentary team out there at Mount Smart.
Yeah, I must admit, I just felt that there was too much pressure on them. Sold out Mount Smart. Everyone was in Warriors jerseys.
Yep.
I mean, Hodaki Breakfast dedicated an entire radio show to the Warriors. That was probably a step too far.
That would have weighed heavily on the minds of RTS and Sean Johnson.
That's why I blame them.
Yeah.
So I'm blaming Matt and Jerry show 16, Warriors 12.
Yeah, 100%. The full breakdown of that game will be on the Mad Monday podcast with Ben Hurley and Chris Key. That'll be out later on this afternoon. They're going to do a deep dive on all of that. Just quickly before we get to one more ad break, Lane, Joseph Parker, he got a win.
Yeah.
He beat old Big Bang Zhang on the weekend.
He banged him hard.
He banged him. It's just two dudes wanting to bang each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And they banged each other in a 12-round
slobber knocker.
Real bang bus stuff.
Yeah, it was. He got him on the bang bus.
Bang? Was it a gang bang?
Well, it was only two dudes. It was a one-on-one bang. And it was a bang bus for sure.
What's a gang then? 3? What's a gang bang?
Well, if they're patched, I suppose you'd only need 2. But no, yeah, I think between 3 to sort of 18.
Okay.
Then after that, it gets into a sort of a bukkake situation. But Joseph Parker, yeah, he banged Big Bang Zhang. He's going to have to do it again because they've got a rematch clause in there.
Oh, okay.
And then I think that sets him up for the big money fight because if he beats old Big Bang Zhang twice, now he's like a genuine name for someone like Francis Ngannou, who just got knocked out by Anthony Joshua in the main event of that card.
Yeah, right.
So it's like this could be a good setup for him to make a big payday in the next few couple of years.
So keep banging, Joseph Parker.
Keep banging.
What was his nickname again?
$2 Whopper.
The $2 Whopper Parker.
Jurassic Parker. I don't know. There's a few of them. If any have more have popped up in your brain, send us another voicemail, which we will get around to right after this ad break.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
The ACC feed has been inundated with talkbacks over the last few days. This always happens with the test matches. We can't get through to all of them on the commentary, mainly because often we don't have someone to screen them and we just don't want to broadcast some of the shit that comes through on that line. So I think tomorrow, if the game is finished, we'll get through most of them. But right now I wanted to address one of them that came through yesterday. Caller, yours please.
how you going, there, you cunts? What are you fucking going on about, mate? Fucking the bowler bowls from the fucking bowler's end, and the fucking batter hits from the fucking batting crease, mate. There's fucking names for all the positions. What's this fucking 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, fucking 6 o'clock, fucking? What are you fucking talking about, mate? It's no wonder you can't win a fucking game of cricket, you fucking curlies. You don't even know where the fucking ball's going. Fuck's sake, just fucking call it, mate. Fuck, don't know what's going on.
Okay, first of all,
hell.
terrible Australian accent that person put on. I mean, it was all right until he got to Kiwi, and he over-egged the Kiwi part of it. Yeah, but that's in reference to the punishing clock chat around trying to, yourself and Matt Heath trying to turn cricket more egalitarian, and so people can understand you don't have to have silly mid on, silly mid off, backward a square, deep square leg, cow corner, mid on, mid off, long off, deep backward point, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Fine leg, third man. You're trying to turn it into a clock system. And I tell you what, it divided a nation.
It did divide a nation. Not since the podcast reunification of the Matt and Jerry show has there been so much consternation about a system. I had been, just watching here, a few raindrops and the cover's coming back on. It is 10:35 as we're watching this right now. The clock system was something, look, I felt a little hard done by, because I came into the commentary yesterday and Matt Heath's like, I've come up with this clock system, and he's calling it the Heath Wells Baker clock fielding position system. And I was like, did you? Or did I come up with it on the podcast on Thursday and you've absolutely snaked me and left me off the bloody... Off the award.
Classic.
It was classic. He treated me. I said it yesterday on the commentary. He's written his own version of the treaty and he's just completely cut me out of it. He didn't honour the agreement that we had. I did pull the audio. You know what? Fuck it. Let's play it. Here's the audio from the podcast from last week of us coming up with the clock system.
You could describe the degrees. Like, you don't hit it to, mid-on or something. You've hit it at mid-off. It's 15 degrees. Or something?
Yeah.
The field, the 15... The
2 o'clock.
Yeah, the 2 o'clock field or something.
Yeah. Mid 2 o'clock, we got a long 2 o'clock.
Yeah, and so it's always the clock.
Okay, that sounds like you said the clock first.
Sounds a lot like I said the clock first.
I mean, his one was dangerously confusing. He wanted to go degrees.
Yeah, and so I simplified it. I said, we'll go the clock. And then he's come on the commentary just a couple of days later and gone, I've come up with a clock system. And he's just completely wrecked my idea and passed it off as his own.
And I think in response, Baker and I, we're non-clockers. We're clock blockers.
Yeah, you are clock blockers.
We don't want the clock. So we've tried to just throw more mud at the wall with our compass system, north, south, east, west.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to muddy the water so then everyone just goes back to the traditional positions.
Well, where it came from was this picture had been doing the rounds on social media of all of the fielding positions. You would have seen it. And it was basically how everyone was saying, I couldn't name half of these positions. That's where the idea for how do we simplify it came from. And then, look, who came up with it? I'll leave that up for you to decide.
Hey, big shout out before we go to George Risk. He is the young 8-year-old boy who went round with a big sign saying sandpaper $5, and he had little bits of sandpaper across the bottom of a piece of cardboard. Going around and trying to sell the pieces of sandpaper to Australian cricketers. Big shout out to George. He did managed to get Josh Hazelwood signed it because it seems like he's quite a good bugger, old Pooh Bear, because he's signing everything. He tried to get Steve Smith. Bless Steve Smith. He politely declined signing the piece of cardboard. But hopefully, George, just take the day off school, mate.
Yeah.
Get back down to Hagley Oval with your sign again. Well done.
In their heads.
Yeah.
All right, enjoy the game if you are listening to this early enough. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow for a full recap of what hopefully will be a test match victory for the Black Caps.
Give them a taste.
We'll
Come on.
See you tomorrow.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast. For more episodes, subscribe on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.